Welcome to Real Talk. I'm Rosie, this is my co-host Ansley, and today we'll be talking about all things music. To give you guys a little background information, let's start with its definition and origin. According to Wikipedia, music is the art of arranging sounds in time through elements of melody, harmony, and rhythm. Music is composed and performed for many reasons, ranging from aesthetic pleasure, religious, or ceremonial purposes, or as an entertainment product for the marketplace. When music was only available through sheet music scores during the classical and romantic eras, music lovers would buy the sheet music of their favorite pieces and songs so that they could perform it for themselves at home on the piano. With the advent of the phonograph, records of popular songs rather than sheet music became the dominant way that music lovers would enjoy their favorite songs. Nowadays, we have music access at the tips of our fingertips. Speaking of easy access, what is your preferred music streaming service, Ansley?
For sure, Spotify, and I'm sure that comes as a surprise to no one, considering that should be everyone's favorite.
I think so too, but surprisingly, a lot of my cool friends use Apple Music. So
really?
They get deducted cool points.
I guess they're not that cool then.
They must not be.
But no, I use Spotify. I love how specific you can get with playlist titles.
Oh yeah, and they create playlists for you.
And Spotify Wrapped is always so much fun to share on social media with like all your friends. And so no, Spotify all the way. I finally bit the bullet recently, and I got Spotify Premium with a bundle plan with Hulu and Showtime. I got the Hulu student bundle that included Spotify Premium.
Ago, and I'm about to graduate, so I'm very, very sad because that will be ending.
You can use my account.
You know what though? But then it'll make music catered for both of us, and I really like how personalized Spotify is.
Yeah, plus then multi-million-dollar companies are going to miss out on your $5.99 a month. We can't have that. It's basically stealing.
Yeah, you're right. So how'd you get into music? Like, what's your earliest memory?
Oh gosh, I had two classic rock fans as parents, and they raised me on oldies but goodies. And they touted me around to concerts. I've been going to music festivals since I was old enough to walk in them. I grew up around the Beatles. My favorite song as a kid was Yellow Submarine by the Beatles, for sure. It was really cute.
That's great.
And my first big music memory, other than just running around the kitchen, dancing with my dad, listening to REM and Pink Floyd and Dave Matthews Band and all that stuff, is I actually went to a Dave Matthews Band concert with the two of them when I was 6 or something, and I stayed until the very end because they closed with a cover of Burning Down the House, and it was awesome.
That's amazing.
And I remember my dad singing along to the music, and my mom bought a t-shirt and she gave it to me, and I still have the t-shirt actually to this day, and I wear it all the time. So if you ever see me around with a Grace t-shirt that just says Dave Matthews Band that looks super duper faded, I've had that thing since I was 6 years old, and I used to use it as a nightgown.
I love that, and that fits probably perfectly.
Oh yeah, it fits perfectly.
I think for me, my family has always been super classically musically oriented. My uncle is actually a professional violinist and a well-known musician in Savannah, so growing up around him definitely got me, I had to take music theory growing up, all of the music and vocal lessons. And my first concert was actually James Brown.
Nice.
But funnily enough, the first concert that I remember was Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus joint world tour. So
absolutely,
yeah, that's a core memory for me, and I absolutely love it.
I've been to a lot of concerts. Make up some core memories for me to this day. I was born in Kentucky, and so along with classical rock, I was also raised on a lot of bluegrass. So Johnny Cash, but my all-time fave, she still is, Miss Dolly Parton.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, one of my crowning achievements is that as a kid I went to go see her in concert at the Fox. She had a costume change. She played all my favorites. I can still sing Joshua word for word. Listen, if you are a Dolly Parton fan and all you know is Jolene, do yourself a favor and listen to some of her other stuff.
I'm guilty of that being my karaoke song.
Listen, all I'm saying is that Little Sparrow exists. And so does The Grass is Blue.
Yeah,
so
she's just phenomenal.
Yeah, so I grew up on a lot of that. But my grandmother on my dad's side, big classical music fan. And so she took me to a lot of orchestra concerts at the Alliance Theater because I grew up in Atlanta, East Atlanta. And so I would go to the Alliance Theater in the High Museum of Art, and she would take me to see these really amazing orchestral processions. And I remember I have a lot of memories from those, sitting and just enjoying music. I will say, oh, this is my little braggadocio part, is that I had pretty advanced music taste for, like, a child.
Yeah.
And so I could sit still in, like, in just a Philharmonic orchestra type shit.
My parents would take me to the orchestra, the symphony,
Oh, yeah.
the ballet. Like,
And I went to the ballet all the time
they
as a
have
kid.
live symphony.
My grandma, when I was, like, 11,
brilliant.
gave me, like, 3 tickets to whatever shows I wanted to see. I chose Swan Lake, I chose Cinderella, and I went to see a Japanese opera called Madame Butterfly that is seared into my memory.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
That's awesome.
Tragic story.
Oh, I know.
Tragic story.
That's really cool.
But yeah, it was a weird thing for, like, a kid to be into, but it definitely formed, like, a lot of my appreciation for classical and just the advancement of, like, how different music can feel. And I just remember, around, like, Halloween, they would do, like, orchestra with all this spooky stuff, and then at the very end, they would set off these giant confetti cannons full of, like, orange and black.
I always wonder who has to clean that up. I feel so sorry for that guy.
Not the front row.
But it's worth it for us, the audience.
Worth it.
We never talked about this, but I'm a big contemporary and, like, Broadway music fan, and I think that's especially prominent because I was raised doing vocal, like, practices, doing piano, so of course they put me in kids theater growing up. So that's, like, one of my favorite. I'm nerdy like that.
Man, I did theater all throughout high school, but for someone who did, and I took, like, theater classes, I went and did, like, theater camps, drama camps. For someone who did so much theater, I know 0 musicals.
That's so funny.
0 musicals. If, like, one of my friends, like, put on, like, a song from Heathers the other day, and I didn't know what it was.
Those are newer ones. Like, I don't know much from...
She put on, like, Candy Store or something.
Yeah, I don't know much
that.
about that, or, like, I love Waitress. That's not super new, but, like, that was newer when I was, like, dialing out of my theater phase. And then also, like, Hamilton, like, I don't know a lot from that, but I know, like, older ones, like, Next to Normal.
Yeah, the only songs I know are
Miz.
from shows that I have done or watched the movie of, which means that I know a bunch of Phantom of the Opera.
Wicked.
Oh, I saw Wicked at, that's the only Broadway show I've ever gone to see. Yep.
That was my first.
Other than Phantom of the Opera.
I saw Phantom too.
I saw Phantom and Wicked. Phantom of the Opera is my favorite musical of all time. I will attempt to sing Christine's high notes in that song, and I can do them. I can do them, technically. Technically, I can do them.
So, what do you think, like, your favorite genre of music is besides that?
Man, that's a hard question, because I kind of swing around a lot.
Yeah,
I am coming out of an oldies, 70s jam band phase right now, and I'm trying to get back into contemporary rock and, like, alt indie stuff. I've been getting back into, like, modern rock bands. And so I've been listening to a lot of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards.
Yeah.
I've had those highly recommended to me, and I found, like, so there's, like, a viral Reddit post of, like, the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard order that you're supposed, like, it's a flow chart, and it's how you're supposed to listen to their music, because they have 18 studio albums, and they're all slightly different subgenre of rock, and so there's a specific, like, route that you can take depending on what you like, typically in music, that will give you the best listening experience for this band, and I'm halfway through it right now, and I gotta say, they're probably, like, my new favorite band right now.
That's great.
They're awesome. But I'm right now, I'm really into rock, but I've always been, like, an alt indie, big emo music fan, obviously. But I've got some tastes that'll surprise some people, that are shockers to some people, and it's that I really love.
I can be surprising as well. I really don't love country though, unless it's, like, old stuff like Johnny Cash.
No, I don't like country. I like bluegrass.
That's
yeah.
Nice.
But a surprising music taste of mine, I guess, is that I actually really, really, really love songs.
Yeah.
But not, like, pop love songs, like old R&B love songs.
R&B?
Marvin Gaye and Luther Vandross are two of my favorite. Oh, they're so good. Me and Mrs. Jones gets me hyped. I
Mr.
love
Jones
it.
by Amy Winehouse is one of my favorite songs, and Amy Winehouse happens to be my favorite musical artist.
Amy Winehouse.
Rest in peace.
We didn't get enough of her.
No, we definitely didn't, and I listened to her albums on repeat every single day, and I just wish that I could have more. But
yeah, I think the world really kind of let her talent down.
Yeah.
Because she
We
was
needed her.
she was an artist in the truest sense of the word, and it's that even in the height of her struggles and her downfalls, she was still out there singing her heart out. And like you can see videos from concerts that she did like before everything like really went down.
If you guys haven't already, go watch the Amy documentary on Netflix.
Oh, watch the documentary.
That goes deep in there and shows a lot of archival footage.
I feel like Amy Winehouse is kind of, I don't want to say she's a warning of what can happen when you don't treat your stars like people, but I don't want to reduce her to a warning. She was a person, and she deserved to live a happy and healthy life because she deserved to live a happy and healthy life.
This happens to a lot of artists. Like,
Britney Spears is like, there's a docuseries about her out right now. I am a big Britney fan. Big old Britney fan. Back when she was doing like My Prerogative and like the greatest hits, I am a big old school Britney fan. If you put on like Hit Me Baby One More Time, I'll fuck that up. If you put on Oops, I Did It Again,
Toxic.
But even like her, maybe like some of her lessons like Not Yet a Woman, Game Changer. Lucky.
If You Seek Amy. Oh my gosh.
Lucky, Game Changer. She just was
so talented, and the world just didn't get enough of her, I feel like.
Amy Winehouse or Britney?
Both of them.
Both.
I also feel like I take a liking to more like single musical artists than I do bands.
Really?
I really love Foster the People, but I know nothing about the artist. I should do some research.
Oh, I know nothing about the bands that I enjoy. I only enjoy their music.
Amy Winehouse, Britney Spears, Frank Sinatra, like I can spit out facts about them, but like bands I just like I can't.
I know more trivia about individuals, but bands I typically like more. And I love to jam. I love musicians and music. Like two of my favorite bands off the bat, Fall Out Boy, Death Cab for Cutie, King Gizzard now. And I love bands.
I do too, in the sense of like watching them perform and like the way that their music works together and just the culture of bands. But I feel like a more personal connection to single artists. Interesting.
That's interesting. I don't relate, but I find it interesting. Or maybe I relate a little bit. I think I understand what you're talking about, but I'm typically a band person. Just because, like, not that single artists are bad, it's just, like, my favorite music happens to be by bands.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it up until this point, actually. But now that I think about it, like, bands are typically my preferred music outlet as opposed to individual artists. So, with like, the whole question of, have you ever tried to make music?
Actually, yeah. So, my little sibling actually plays so many instruments, so we've tried doing that together before and like writing songs together. We never really get that far. I used to write songs and like perform them on my ukulele in high school, but I haven't sat down and done that in a really long time.
I've tried multiple times to learn how to play musical instruments. I've failed miserably each time. I tried picking up guitar. Actually, the first instrument I ever tried to play was the violin. I took violin lessons.
That's where you started wrong.
Yeah, that's where I should have picked
like one of the hardest.
Literally anything else.
Yeah.
But I tried to play violin. Did not work. Was very bad at it. I've always sucked at practicing things. I don't practice. Unless someone is there forcing me to practice, I'm not practicing.
Way, honestly.
So violin failed. I tried to learn how to play the ukulele and like the guitar on my own. Double failed because I don't know how to play the guitar.
It's the strings hurt.
They
really
hurt
bad.
my hands.
I learned ukulele on my own,
soft
but then
baby hands.
I've failed every time trying to pick up guitar.
But then I switched to piano, and that I learned how to play, not well enough to like do a song, like play any songs on, but now I know enough about the piano to like find notes on the keys that match sheet music because I know how to read sheet music. And then I also tried to play guitar again, and that also failed miserably, even though Like, I really wish I could play any musical instrument, though. Like, my soul for a musical instrument skill, I want to be able to play it so bad.
Pick up a tambourine, babe.
I know. See, because the thing is that both my dad and my grandfather, amazing guitar players. Like, can pick up a Spanish guitar, not even need sheet music. They can just fiddle, they fiddle out an amazing tune. And so my house, whenever I went to go visit my grandfather, my father would be there, and I would get to hear them both kind of playing at the same time on, like, opposite ends of the house. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous little melodies, like, lofting throughout the room of these, like, incredible, incredible musicians who were playing Spanish guitar just because it was fun. And, like, my dad was an amazing musician, amazing singer. Like,
that's great to grow up around, too.
Oh, yeah. Like, I come by my love for music very, very honestly. And, like, he could cry to music. He knew how to cry to music. I will say that. He taught me how to cry to music. Mm-hmm. Very personal connection to it. But so, no, I suck at musical instruments. I cannot play them. I can kind of play the piano, but I do write. I do write music.
That's great.
All the time. I'm constantly writing down lyrics to my phone. I know how to write music. I know how to sing. That's my thing. Mm-hmm. It's like this is my instrument right here.
Well, that definitely is an instrument. So you can't
Absolutely it is. I just wish I could also play a musical instrument. Yeah. But I think I'm good enough at singing to get away with not being able to play a musical instrument.
Yep.
That's how I overcompensated for not being able to play, to accompany myself. Oh my goodness.
That's definitely a good enough reason.
Oh yeah, I think so. So I think we're gonna wrap it up there then, because we're 17 minutes in. That's already a little bit over what we talked about.
Then we need to say something after that. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us and listening to us talk about music for a little bit. We'd be happy to hear some of your thoughts about music. Make sure to tell us all the types of music that you love.
Yeah, and vote down below, Spotify or Apple Music.
Oh, yeah. You got or
a chance to win nothing.
Should I even put, like, Pandora as an option?
Nope. If you listen to Pandora, or I discovered yesterday YouTube Plus or something is an option,
YouTube Music exists.
Sorry.
Technically.
Spotify
sorry. It's Spotify or Apple. Clash of the Titans is how that's going to work. Alright, well, thank you guys for joining us. Once again, I was Ansley Hamilton.
I'm Rosie, and thanks for coming to Real Talk.
Thanks for coming to Real Talk. Bye!